Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Really appreciate it. Last time we talked was in Canada. A lot's happened since then. I mean, the team has been really firing on all cylinders. I mean, Nico Hülkenberg obviously getting the podium in Silverstone was amazing. For yourself, I mean, what were the challenges in terms of getting the team up to speed when you came in to take over this season?
Well, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me to talk to you again. I enjoyed our conversation in Canada. I enjoy Canada, I have to be honest, every year. So I still look back very fondly on that. It was very early on in my journey here with Sauber, and probably about the time that things were starting to crystallise in my mind as to what we could perhaps start doing a little bit differently. Sort of long-term plans were forming already, but we were able to do some stuff in the short term as well, especially when it came to some of the communication structures, some of the ways we prepared for our strategy going into a race weekend. It was about then actually we started implementing some of those ideas.
When you take a look at, I guess, the team as a whole, what's the biggest step that you see that the team has taken?
I think for me it's the momentum that we've built up, the confidence in the team. You mentioned the podium at Silverstone. You can tell people that other teams aren't better than us. You can tell people that other pit crew aren't better than us, but they have to believe it, they have to see it. And I think we've had these waypoints, we've been in the points so many times this year. Podium at Silverstone, and there's a belief in the team now that we can do it. Look around the garage, it's a young group of people, you know. Many of them haven't been in Formula One for very long at all, so it's about gathering that momentum and keeping it going into when we become the Audi Formula One team next year.
How much work has gone in behind the scenes to get the team ready for that introduction of Audi for next season?
There's a huge amount of work. I mean, across every single department in the company, marketing, communications, commercial, technical, racing, every single department's putting a huge amount of effort into it. You know, we have to really, really manifest ourselves as the Audi Formula One team next year, which means everything you look at, touch, feel, eat at the circuit needs to be completely different to it. So now it's tremendously exciting. But I'm working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at the moment, and so is most of my team.
That was going to be my next question. You know, honestly, how many hours within a week do you think you are putting into this? Because it's such a massive undertaking you guys are trying to do here.
Well, one of the things that attracted me to this project originally was the split in responsibilities, with Mattia Bonotto heading up the technical side of the business, me managing the commercial and operational and racing side of the business. And the idea was that I wouldn't be in the factory every day in between races necessarily, but honestly, I'm loving the project, I'm loving the role, and I'm spending a lot of time, and my time isn't wasted. I mean, people talk about back-to-back meetings as if it's something exhausting. For me, it's necessary. So much we need to achieve in the next 3 months. I can't imagine wanting to take any more time off.
Yeah, where does that drive come from for yourself? Because like you really have to be very passionate about what you do. So where does that come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been a tremendously positive person. I've loved racing since I was a kid. You know, it's in my blood. And building racing teams and this transition phase we're in now between being a small team and becoming a works Audi Formula One team makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck still, just even thinking about it. And I have no problem motivating myself. I get up super motivated. I might go to bed tired, but I wake up the next day ready to do it all again.
Making that switch from obviously Sauber as a team with your base in Switzerland, but then obviously adding another base in Germany where they're going to be building the power unit and you guys are going to be building the car at the factory in Switzerland. How challenging is it to have like two separate factories sort of operating at the same time?
I don't really see it as being a big challenge, to be honest. My entire career in Formula One, I've never had a engine manufacturer on site. You know, work with Japanese engine manufacturers, work with French manufacturers, English manufacturers when we weren't based in the UK. So I think it's not the big hurdle that everyone sees it as being. And of course, technology is fantastic now. Operations rooms, Teams calls. It's so easy to keep in touch.
The only reason I ask is because when you look at some of the other teams, I mean, obviously like Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin now, I mean, everybody's sort of like under one roof. Does it make it any easier to have sort of everyone under one roof and one facility to communicate with each other? Like, is that would it be easier, I guess, to do it that way, or are you finding it's okay being two separate things?
Well, because I've never experienced that, I don't really know. Now, I think the only team really that's under one roof is Ferrari, but that's many roofs over a huge area in Italy. It's not like they're next door in any of these teams. It's not like the engine department is just open the door to your office and it's in there, you know. I don't see, they're very, very different disciplines, chassis and powertrain, very, very different. One of them's incredibly short lead times, very, very dynamic, and the other one takes more, it's more of a process, requires really good engineering rigor and process. And I think the fact that they're separate doesn't really make a huge difference, because once you're traveling, everything travels together and all of us travel together.
When you take a look at the 2026 regulations, I guess how do you feel about them? I mean, it's a big undertaking. You're doing 50% electric from the battery, you're doing 50% from the internal combustion engine. Like, is it a big undertaking for F1 to really go in that direction, or would it be simpler if, I don't know, you go back to the V8 eras or whatever?
Formula One doesn't ever tend to do anything simple. And let's not forget that in conjunction with the cost cap, these regulations are why Audi are entering the sport and why Cadillac are entering the sport. The sport's in a fantastic place. We've got the biggest change in technical regulations, I think, since my time in the business, and I've been in it for over 34 years. It's tremendously exciting. You know, this highly efficient engine, advanced hybrid technology, and of course sustainable fuels it's really relevant to Audi in their road car project. So look, for me, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for a new team to come into Formula One, establish themselves, and it's going to be about who develops the smartest.
For your final question, I want to understand, like, how do the expectations change now that Audi's going to be front and center?
So it is a very different outlook. So you would say with this team, it's done a tremendous job of putting two cars on the track on a Sunday morning to go racing. And that in itself was an achievement. Now, Audi are not in it just to participate. They're here to win. We're here to win. We're not here to mess around. We have a hugely ambitious target of fighting for race wins and championships by the end of the decade. Sounds like a long way away. Formula One terms, that's right round the corner. We've got a tremendous challenge ahead of us. We're excited, we're energized, and we need to launch ourselves as a competitor next year.
Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, I've enjoyed it.